This is Rich from Over the Fender Garage. Today we're going to make up the power steering hose, and hopefully by the end of today it will be fired up and running. We got a couple of things left to finish up, go through all the fluids, kind of check everything over, and then fire it up. Stick this filter on here. This is a power steering filter. So put it on the return line here to the pump, low pressure side. Now, get that here. Right there. It's a good idea. Everything's new on it, except for the unit itself, steering unit. So, those are on there good. Come on. Yeah. It's a good idea to do. You got an old box, a new pump, just a little safety thing, because I'm sure that thing's not cheap to replace, but this filter is. So we get it on there like this, and cheap insurance. It is strictly made for power steering units. It's got barbed ends on it. It's all TIG welded. So it's definitely made for doing that job. Alright, there's that. Now we get on to the power steering hose itself. Okay, I'm going to make my power steering hose next. This is all steel braided. It's PTFE lined hose, I think. I think that's what the name of it is. I'm not sure. But it's a high pressure steel braided line. They're not really hard to do. They are, they're tricky, but they're not hard. But we'll run through and we'll make one up real quick. You can have shops make these things for you, or you can make it yourself. I prefer to make everything myself. If you got the, everything's available for you to buy, you might as well do it yourself. It saves you a couple of bucks. So we will make up one of those right now. This here is a piece of the line. You look up inside of there, you see there's a plastic liner inside of it, and then you got the steel braid on the outside. Then you have these fittings here, which are strictly made for a power steering unit. They are steel. Let's take this apart. This is the end that goes on the hose that you're making. You take it apart, and it's got that shaft. That's what your liner goes onto. But you got this little olive. It's almost like a compression fitting for plumbing, but it's a little different. But you get that on there too, and then you cinch all this together, and that's puts pressure on this and squeezes that line onto there. This piece, this little olive thing, it actually goes onto the tube like this. You need to push that all the way down until that liner touches. There's a little, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, there's a little lip inside there. You need to get that all the way down onto that liner as flat as you can. but you want to make sure you have this thing on before. This piece goes over the top, sits down on your line, and then you need to spread that back to get this onto the liner. Don't make one up. It's easier to cut this stuff with a cutoff wheel. I mean, they do make cutters for this stuff, but it smooshes the end like that. I don't know how the hell you get something on that. So I use a cutoff wheel. This was one I've been using, but use a cutoff wheel to cut that. You wrap it with black tape. Try to keep it from spreading out as much as possible, but you do have to spread it out to get the olive on there. They are a pain, but once you do a couple of them, they become, I wouldn't say easy, but easier. We'll get on making one of these next here. First thing I'm going to do with this line is I'm going to stick it in this end. Small flat screwdriver like this does help. Because these steel braided wires really like to stick you in the fingers. So if you do something like this, you don't have to get stuck. Just stick that through there. Come on, peel this off. Now, got my line in there. You can see the hose now. Stick it up there. And take the olive and get this on there like this. You don't want to tap on that with anything hard like a hammer. Something soft. You don't want to dent up that olive. And then get this into here. Just like that. Now just get this back up there and tighten that up. Do that. Can't use this because it holds it sideways. That means that end would be like this and it won't move. So it's a fixed piece. So you gotta use the vise. You're just holding it, not clamp down on it enough to hurt it. And just get this line started on there. Now, to make sure it's tight enough that it won't move. Grab this end here, get it started. But make sure you hold that line so it stays tight. Just carefully tighten it. And there is one end made up. So this end here will spin for putting it on. But see, this end here is fixed. You cannot rotate that at all, which kind of sucks because that means when you're making this part of the line, you gotta try to get your end to stop right in the general location so you don't end up having a twist or something in it. So let's go over to the car and get our length for our next fitting. All right, now take this end and put it on my unit here. Okay, about right there. Put this one on here. Now, come back and turn underneath like this, about like that. See, if I came out straight, I'd have to do a loop and go back down. If I come out with a 90, they both go down and they're both out of the way of everything. There's no real good solution to this except for using the two 90s. I just think coming out and going down, it's just going to look like a mess. Try to keep it clean. Try to do this where there's enough to move around. So right about there will be good. Grab a marker. Take a marker here and then make sure you give it a little extra. Stuff's expensive. It's better to have extra if you miss. So mark that out right there, and that'll be where I make the cut. And the one other thing to do here, you got your 90 coming out and turning down because you can't move this line once it's on. If you take it and mark this like this, so I know that this is in line with my 90 as it's coming out of that unit there. So I got my cut and then I got my mark, so you don't end up with the snake trying to wrap it in there. All right, now you can see my mark, and then you can see my direction mark where I want that to come out. You take some good electrical tape. Don't try to use the cheap stuff. The better quality stuff works better for doing this. The cheap stuff doesn't like to stick. This, you can get it stick in, you can stretch it tight, because stretching it tight will hold all the wires together. As I say that as it comes off. And stretch that, pull it tight, the tighter the better. Just like that. Now, just like that. Now I need to cut it, and I want to cut basically on the center of that tape. Go the other direction. This way. Right there. Just like that, just to hold it. That way it can't, the end that you want to use isn't going like this. Because if this is all wobbling around as you're cutting it, it'll make it fray worse. But this will keep the fraying under control. All right, here we go. Take a sander. It's about a 60 grit out here. Knock those little frays off while it's in here tight. And blow it out. You take a big Phillips, just kind of stick it in there. Don't force it in there. Just clean up your little edge. If you got any little frays on the tube in there, just clean it up a little bit. You don't want to make it expand at all. There's that. Now, put this in here again. Because this one's got less fraying on it, go right in. That's simple. So you notice the difference. See, that's the end that was slopping around as you're cutting it. This is the end that was in the thing tight, so it didn't fray out. So now I can take the tape off. Before I put it together, and then taking, where'd my screwdriver go? Take this here and just kind of push these back out of the way. They do make a tool for this too. I haven't found a reason to buy it yet. Not really that hard to do. Just got to take your time doing them. Come on, open up. You know, it's unusual you get them but they don't want to open. Usually this stuff wants to fray all out on you. Of course, when you want it to, it won't do it. Because you gotta make sure you don't have any of these little wires stuck underneath that olive, or you'll have a leak. All right, here it is, all opened up. Get this down in there. You screw it up, these olives are not reusable. It's a one and done. And so is the hose if you don't have extra. That's why I always add a little extra on. Oh, come on. There it goes. There it is. You can see the liner. It's all the way up against the olive. Now, throw it back out of there. This back in here. Good enough to hold it. This in here. Now remember, you want to have that line up. Where are you? There it is right there. We remark that. Back up here. Now this is where it gets tricky, because I want to turn this back there. One should come pretty close. There's the line. You can barely see it, but right there's the line. Straight along with that. So there's your hose. So one's facing down, one's facing sideways. So now we should be able to get it on that box just like that. But take an air line, blow it back out. If you don't want any debris in there, it's ready to go on the box. Yeah, I want to get in here and tighten my fitting here first. Then get in here with this here. And this end here on there. I can turn that a little bit like that. Nothing goes towards the belts. Stays far away. Oh, let's see what size it is. This size, no. This size. Okay. Let's see. This one here, probably 5/8 on that end. Yep. Okay. tight. Well, all right, down here, here, this way. There it is. Quick and easy power steering line. Okay, right now I'm bleeding my power steering. Got the front end jacked up off the ground. Just going lock to lock. Get some of the air out of it so it doesn't dry start. You want to have that pump running with nothing in it. So it'll get more than half the bubbles and air out of it. Let me do it again here. All right, that is done. That'll get some of the air out of there. Let's put some oil in it. Fill her up with some oil. Well, looks like that's it. All I gotta do is fill up the radiator here. Everything else has just been filled, topped off. No gas in the tank yet. I'm gonna stick the battery in here. Let's see. Oh, boy. Get this down in here. And get it ready to crank. All right, that's it. Battery's in, everything's in. Do a test crank. See what happens here. Ready, 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 ready. Cranking the wheels over. All right, it's good. Should have brought oil up. Of course, there's no way for me to tell because of the baffles, but that should have pressurized the system, have oil up to it. Everything sounds right. Everything sounds good. All you gotta do is put some gas in it, start it up. Time has come. Make sure this is gas. One of the best times in any car build, putting gas in the tank. Getting ready to start them up. Woo! Where'd that come from? Alrighty. There. Got to get some gas up here. It's acetone. Basically carb cleaner. Turn this a little this way here. Got 80 pounds of oil pressure. smoke detector. Alrighty, here we go. Hooked up yet, so I can't put it in gear. Gas gauge does not seem to be working. I don't know, it's only got about 2 gallons in it right now, so it might not have enough. Right, I'm sitting right at 190. It's got a 190 thermostat. 65 pounds of oil pressure. That's all good. Well, that's it. It runs. Now it's time to move on to finishing up the upholstery. Get the rest of this thing done. A little bit of nutting and bolting to do first, and then I'm going to jump and start doing upholstery. We'll get that knocked out next. Get it ready for the road. Can't wait to take it for a drive. I mean, just look at that bad boy. Ain't nothing like it on the street. People just love these old wagons. So, that's where we're going next. Do some upholstery.